I'm Gary, and this is my friend Jim, and we're here to talk about a movie that we recently viewed called Let Me In. I'll start, and I have to apologize by saying that I only watched maybe the first half hour of the movie. I was pretty taken back by it because I'm not used to seeing that kind of graphic horror. And if I could point out the two scenes that led me to hit the stop button after about a half hour, it would be the super wedgie scene where the boy that's being bullied winds up on the school floor in his own urine. And then shortly after that, I saw the scene where I thought it was a murder, but I've since learned that it wasn't a murder. It was just an abduction where a body was strung up on a tree upside down and had the throat slit with the blood dripping down.
And the old guy putting a bucket underneath it,
Right.
catching the blood.
And that was about as far as I could get.
Okay, so that's your rendition of the movie.
I will say that I checked with a friend of mine who I know is hip on horror movies, and he explained to me what happens because he had seen the original Swedish version and told me that the little girl is actually the culprit, and that the little boy who was bullied winds up taking the place of the older man who used to deliver the blood.
Yeah, that's a quick rendition of the movie.
Right.
So my rendition of the movie is that the movie is more social oriented. It's more about how this kid is enduring stress and his plight in school. They never show his mother's face, how he's alienated from everybody. He's alone, scared, no one likes him. And these bullies are picking on him, and then one day he sees this little girl walking around with no shoes on in the snow, and he's like confused about it, and they can't be friends, she says. But then the show takes a twist where she starts to befriend him and starts to develop a relationship, which I know that you're like, how can you have a relationship with a vampire? Well, relationships are relationships.
Oh,
but
I wouldn't have known that she was the vampire.
because you never finished.
Right.
Yes, and it is gory, it is good, but the thing is you're right. But if you take a look at the whole spectrum of the movie, you didn't take the time to learn the movie because the genre that you choose is not of your liking.
Right.
But the movie had a lot of social issues with it, and it turned out to be a half-decent movie. Not a great, not a bad, middle. Out of, I would say, 5 stars, a 3.5.
Okay.
But it was still an okay movie.
Yeah, and I would have to admit that since it's a remake of a Swedish movie, there must have been something of value in the original to warrant a remake.
You got to watch it.
Okay, well, I have to say...
There's some blood in it.
Right, and that's the reason I won't
vampires.
watch it, and it's maybe a shortcoming of mine that I don't find the
You got to
wedgie scene and gore, I don't find it entertaining. That's a shortcoming on my part.
It's not a shortcoming. It's
Okay.
what you don't like.
Okay.
But
now, whenever I watch a film,
Yeah.
I go into it thinking that I'm going to come away with something. I either learn something or have an emotional experience that I...
How emotional does that have to be?
Well, we'll get into those after...
We only have 10 minutes of this. So
Well, I think our next movie is going to be more of a coming of age of maybe the same age
and I'm willing
boy.
to watch it even if I don't like it.
And that I would like to think I'll have entirely more to say.
You're a
about.
lot more serious here than I've seen you.
Well, I don't want to insult you.
You're not insulting me.
But I have to apologize for my not being a fan of that genre of movie.
But even still, I appreciate the apology, but you didn't have to apologize to me.
Okay. All right.
Until the next movie, the movie was good. I gave it a 3.5 star. He gave it... So...
Well, let's not even give it any because I didn't watch it. And that's unfair to
and
give
we have
a rating.
to start, right? That I'll be willing to take a movie that you like, and if I really can't stand it, I'll watch it through. You have to give it the same
Right.
same
But
chance
see,
on the next one.
okay.
Even if it's science fiction,
Right.
even if it's all the other stuff.
Right, but here's the difference in the reason that you would be able to watch any movie all the way through, and I wouldn't. That's because I have a weak stomach for gore.
We won't do gore.
Well, then we'll be able to watch the whole movie next time.
That's cool. There's a new movie
Okay.
coming out the movies called Battle L.A.
Okay, all right. The one scene
Cowboys
that
and
you
aliens.
told me to try to watch, and I think maybe I would enjoy it only because I enjoy revenge. And
Oh, it's when the little boy
boys-
slapped
right,
the
right.
bully in the ear.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah.
deserves that.
Yeah.
He got it. Poof. And then next
Okay.
thing you know, but then you didn't
but
do
even with that, I still can't imagine that if I watched the whole thing, I would come away with any value from spending a couple
I hear you.
hours of my life
it.
with
Yeah,
it.
I know. But you know what? We all waste a few hours here and there of our lives, don't we?
Yes, we do. Our next movie, we're going to be able to seriously
Yes,
have
we'll
some
work through it.
critiquing.
Yes,
See you next time.
absolutely.
All right.